Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here today because we're going to talk about something that many of us struggle with. Something that often brings about feelings of anxiety and uncertainty, change in life. Change can be scary, uncomfortable, and sometimes even overwhelming. It can feel like everything is shifting beneath your feet, leaving you unsure of what comes next. Whether it's a small shift at work, a major change like moving to a new city, changing careers, or even a shift in personal relationships, we all face change at some point. And for many of us, the unknown that comes with change can be frightening. It's easy to get caught up in those feelings of fear and uncertainty. It's easy to resist change because we're not sure where it will lead or how it will affect our lives. After all, we all have a natural desire for stability and predictability. We like knowing what to expect, and we often associate change with disruption. But change, although unsettling, is an inevitable part of life. It's how we grow, how we learn, and how we move forward. It can bring new opportunities, new perspectives, and new experiences that we wouldn't have had otherwise. But here's the question. Have you ever felt afraid when facing changes in your life? Maybe you felt hesitant to take a new job, move to a new place, or make a big decision that could drastically change the course of your life. It is natural to feel fear when facing the unknown. We all experience that moment of hesitation, that inner voice telling us that it's safer to stay where we are than to take the leap into something new. And sometimes that fear holds us back from making the decisions that could lead to greater growth and fulfillment. So how do we overcome that fear? Is there a way to embrace change without feeling paralyzed by it? Well, today we're going to explore just that. We'll talk about how to accept change in your life without fear, and how to embrace it as a natural part of your journey. We'll also look at how you can take control of your life instead of letting change control you. Because here's the truth. While we can't always control the changes that happen in our lives, we can control how we respond to them. We can choose to embrace change with an open heart and a clear mind, and we can navigate through it with confidence. It's important to understand that fear of change is something that everyone faces at some point. It's not something to be ashamed of or to try to push away. Fear is simply a natural response to the unknown. But the key is not to let that fear control you. The goal is to acknowledge the fear, understand it, and then take intentional steps to move forward despite it. By doing so, we can transform the fear of change into an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. In this video, we'll talk about ways to shift your mindset when it comes to change. We'll explore how to reframe the way you think about change, so that instead of seeing it as something to fear, you can begin to view it as something to embrace. We'll also discuss practical steps you can take to prepare for change, whether that's through planning, setting new goals, or simply allowing yourself the grace to adapt over time. There's no one-size-fits-all solution, but there are strategies that can help you face change with confidence and curiosity rather than fear. It's also crucial to remember that change doesn't have to be this overwhelming force that you have to battle. Instead, it can be a part of your life that you learn to move with, like a current in a river that you flow with rather than fighting against. The more we resist change, the more difficult it becomes to navigate. But when we learn to flow with it, to adjust our sails as the wind shifts, we can actually find a sense of peace and excitement in the process. Life is a constant evolution, and the more we embrace that evolution, the more fulfilled and empowered we become. So as we move forward in this video, I encourage you to open your mind to the idea that change is not something to fear, but something to welcome. It's a chance to step into a new chapter of your life, to try new things, and to discover strengths within yourself that you didn't even know existed. Change might not always be easy, but it's almost always necessary for growth and transformation. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to share it with anyone who might need to hear this message. Maybe there's someone in your life who's struggling with fear of change, or maybe someone who's about to embark on a big life change. Sharing this video could help them find the encouragement they need to take the next step. I'd love to hear about your embracing change too. Leave a comment below and share your journey with me. What changes have you faced in your life and how did you handle them? Have you ever felt afraid to embrace change? And if so, how did you overcome that fear? Let's talk about it together. This space is all about supporting each other and learning from each other's experiences. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more content that can help you navigate life's changes with confidence and strength. I'm here to support you on your journey, and I look forward to exploring more topics with you in future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, change doesn't have to be something to fear. It's something to embrace with an open heart and a willingness to grow. You've got this. Change is something we all experience in life. It's a constant, inevitable force that we cannot escape, no matter how much we may wish to sometimes. Whether it's a change in our personal lives, careers, or the world around us, change is always present, and while it might feel overwhelming at times, it plays a crucial role in our growth and development. Change has the power to transform us, pushing us out of our comfort zones and into new experiences that open up opportunities for learning, growth, and discovery. For many of us, change can be uncomfortable. We are naturally inclined towards stability, familiarity, and the safety of routine. We find comfort in the things we know, and stepping into the unknown can be unsettling. It's natural to feel resistance when something in our lives begins to change. It's easy to cling to what's familiar, to stay in the situations, jobs, or relationships that we know best. There's a sense of security in the status quo, and when that is disrupted, it can trigger feelings of anxiety and fear. However, despite the discomfort that change often brings, it is essential to understand that change is not something to be feared. Change in its essence is a catalyst for growth. It forces us to evolve, to adapt, and to stretch beyond what we thought were our limits. When we step outside of our comfort zones, we are given the chance to become more than we were before. Change is the driving force behind innovation, progress, and personal development. It is through change that we discover new strengths, talents, and passions that we may have never realized were within us. One of the primary reasons why change is so essential is that it helps us break free from the patterns and habits that can hold us back. When we stay in the same place for too long, mentally or physically, we risk stagnation. We get comfortable with the way things are and may begin to believe that there's nothing more to life than what we already know. Change shakes us out of this complacency and challenges us to think, act, and live differently. It nudges us to try new things, take on new roles, or pursue different goals that may be more aligned with our true purpose. Without change, we would remain stuck in old ways of thinking and doing, unable to grow or evolve. Think about it for a moment. Without change, we would never have new opportunities. We wouldn't have the chance to meet new people, explore new ideas, or take on new challenges that push us towards self-improvement. Change is the opening of a door to something new, something better, and something that helps us grow into a more authentic version of ourselves. For example, imagine starting a new job. It might feel intimidating and scary at first, but that change brings with it the opportunity to develop new skills, learn from different people, and advance your career in ways that staying in your current position might not allow. In relationships, change might mean opening up to new experiences, or learning to communicate in a way that strengthens the bond you share with others. Change also helps us navigate life's inevitable challenges. Life doesn't stay the same. There will be times of hardship, loss, and unexpected shifts that will require us to adapt. Change prepares us for these moments by teaching us resilience. Each time we face a new challenge, we have the opportunity to learn how to respond in healthier, more effective ways. Whether it's coping with the end of a relationship, the loss of a loved one, or a career shift change, gives us the tools to build emotional strength and mental fortitude. One of the most powerful aspects of change is that it can lead to personal transformation. Think about a time in your life when you made a significant change, whether it was moving to a new city, starting a new job, or making a major decision about your personal life. Even though those moments might have been filled with fear or uncertainty at the time, they likely pushed you to grow. In the process of adapting to the new circumstances, you may have discovered a new sense of confidence, purpose, or clarity that you didn't have before. This personal growth is one of the greatest gifts of change. Moreover, change helps us break free from limiting beliefs. Often we hold ourselves back by telling ourselves that we can't change or that we're too set in our ways. We may believe that we are too old to try something new, too inexperienced to take on a new challenge, or too stuck in our ways to break free from old habits. Change forces us to confront these beliefs and shows us that we are capable of much more than we often give ourselves credit for. The process of embracing change reveals our untapped potential and helps us realize that we are not as limited as we once thought. However, while we may understand on an intellectual level that change is necessary and that it brings about opportunities for growth, it's still perfectly natural to feel resistant to it. The discomfort that comes with change is real, and it's something we all experience. The key is to learn how to navigate this discomfort in a way that empowers us rather than holds us back. Embracing change doesn't mean that we don't feel fear or anxiety. It simply means that we choose to face those feelings and take action anyway. There's an important concept to consider when it comes to dealing with the fear of change acceptance. Change doesn't happen in isolation. It is a natural part of life's flow. The more we resist change, the more difficult it becomes to move forward. But when we learn to accept it as a part of the process, we can approach it with more grace and less resistance. This acceptance allows us to embrace change with a mindset that sees it as an opportunity rather than a threat. When we shift our perspective in this way, change becomes less daunting. Instead of viewing it as something to fear, we begin to see it as something to welcome, something that helps us become the people we are meant to be. Each change, whether big or small, is an invitation to grow. It's a chance to evolve into a better, stronger version of ourselves. And though it may feel uncomfortable in the moment, the rewards that come from embracing change are always worth the discomfort. To summarize, change is not something to fear. It is a natural and essential part of life that propels us forward. It helps us break free from old habits, opens up new opportunities, and encourages personal growth. Without change, we risk stagnation and complacency. Change is the force that pushes us to step outside our comfort zones and embrace the possibilities that lie ahead. It may be uncomfortable, but it is through change that we learn, grow, and move toward the next chapter of our lives. Embrace it and allow it to guide you on the path of personal transformation. Fear of change is something that we all experience at some point in our lives. It is a normal and natural response to something unfamiliar or uncertain. When we face change, especially significant or unexpected change, it can trigger feelings of anxiety, insecurity, and doubt. These emotions stem from the fear of the unknown. And it's important to recognize that these feelings are a part of being human. However, understanding that fear is normal and acknowledging it can help us approach it with more confidence and clarity. Once we understand the roots of our fear, we can take steps to face it head-on, transforming it into something positive and empowering. The fear of change often comes from the uncertainty that accompanies it. Change by its very nature introduces the unknown. When we don't know what the future holds, it's easy to feel scared. We want certainty. We want to know exactly what will happen and how it will affect our lives. Uncertainty can feel like a loss of control. And when we feel out of control, fear is often a natural response. This fear is not necessarily about the change itself, but rather the uncertainty that comes with it. When faced with uncertainty, our minds tend to imagine worst-case scenarios, and we become fixated on the potential negative outcomes. But here's the thing, fear of change is not something that we need to avoid or suppress. It is a signal that we are stepping into new territory, and that is not inherently a bad thing. Fear only becomes a problem when we allow it to control our actions and keep us stuck in place. By recognizing that fear is simply a natural reaction to change, we can stop fearing the fear itself and begin to take the necessary steps to move through it. The first step in dealing with the fear of change is to accept that nothing is perfect. Fear often arises when we feel like we are losing control. We want everything to be perfect, and when things shift, we feel like we can no longer predict or control what will happen. But the reality is that we can't control everything in life, and trying to do so only adds to our anxiety. No matter how much we plan or prepare change, we'll always have an element of unpredictability. Accepting that we cannot control every outcome is an important part of the process of learning to cope with change. Life is inherently uncertain, and embracing that uncertainty is a crucial step in finding peace with change. It's okay to acknowledge that not all changes will be easy or smooth. Some changes will challenge us, make us uncomfortable, or even bring pain. But that's a part of life, and it is through these challenges that we grow and learn the most about ourselves. To face the fear of change, we need to shift our mindset. Instead of viewing change as a threat, try reframing it as an opportunity. It's all about perspective. Change is not inherently bad or good, it simply is. The way we choose to view it makes all the difference. When we see change as a threat, we become defensive and fearful. But when we see it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and expand our horizons, we are more likely to approach it with curiosity and excitement. Instead of asking, "What if this goes wrong?" try asking, "What can I learn from this change?" Shift your focus from the potential negative outcomes to the potential positive outcomes. Embrace the idea that change is a chance to improve, to grow stronger, and to challenge ourselves in new ways. The more we practice seeing change as an opportunity, the less fear it will provoke. We may not always know exactly how things will unfold, but we can trust that every experience, whether positive or negative, teaches us something valuable. One of the most powerful ways to deal with the fear of change is to practice acceptance. Acceptance does not mean resignation or passivity. It means recognizing that change is a natural part of life, and by accepting it, we are giving ourselves permission to move forward with it rather than resisting it. Resistance only makes the fear stronger and the change more difficult. When we accept change, we stop fighting against it, and we open ourselves up to the opportunities that it brings. Acceptance is not about denying the fear or pretending it doesn't exist. Instead, it's about acknowledging the fear, accepting it as a normal response, and choosing not to let it control our actions. To practice acceptance, it's important to embrace uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and the more we try to control everything, the more anxious we become. Learning to live with uncertainty is one of the most freeing things we can do. We don't have to have all the answers right now. We don't have to know exactly how everything will turn out. Trusting that we will find our way through change, even when we don't have a clear roadmap, is a powerful practice. When we allow ourselves to live with uncertainty, we become more adaptable and flexible in the face of change. This doesn't mean we're passively accepting things that are harmful or negative. It means that we accept the reality of change and choose to move through it with an open mind and heart. Another way to deal with the fear of change is to start small. When we're faced with a big, overwhelming change, it can be easy to get lost in the fear of what's to come. But starting with small, manageable changes can help us build our confidence and prepare us for the larger changes that lie ahead. Begin by making small adjustments in your daily routine. Try something new, like taking a different route to work, trying a new hobby, or having a conversation with someone you wouldn't normally speak to. These small changes can help you become more comfortable with the idea of change and reduce your fear over time. As you become more accustomed to handling small changes, you'll find that you're better able to cope with bigger ones. Change doesn't have to be all or nothing. Starting small allows you to build momentum and gradually develop the resilience needed to face larger, more challenging changes. Taking small steps each day can also help you practice embracing change in a way that feels less intimidating. Change is not something that happens overnight, it's a process. By gradually incorporating new habits, routines, and perspectives into your life, you can begin to build your capacity to handle bigger shifts with more ease. Over time, you'll realize that you're more adaptable than you thought, and that fear of change becomes less and less powerful. Finally, it's important to give yourself grace. Change is often messy and uncomfortable. You won't always have all the answers, and things won't always go according to plan. And that's okay. The process of adapting to change takes time, and there will be moments of doubt and fear along the way. It's important to be kind to yourself during these moments. Acknowledge your feelings of fear, but don't let them stop you from taking action. Remember that it's normal to feel anxious about change. It's a part of the human experience. What matters is how you respond to that fear and how you choose to move forward. With time and practice, you'll find that the fear of change loses its power, and you'll feel more confident in your ability to navigate the changes that life brings your way. In conclusion, dealing with the fear of change is about shifting your mindset, accepting uncertainty, and taking small steps toward embracing the inevitable changes in life. Fear is a natural response, but it doesn't have to control you. By practicing acceptance, asking positive questions, and starting with manageable changes, you can gradually build your confidence and ability to adapt to whatever changes come your way. Remember, change is not something to be feared. It's a chance to grow, learn, and become a better version of yourself. Embrace it and let it lead you to new possibilities. When faced with change, especially significant shifts that can feel overwhelming, it's easy to become paralyzed by fear or anxiety. The uncertainty that change brings can be uncomfortable, and our natural instinct might be to resist it, to stay in the familiar rather than venture into the unknown. However, the good news is that there are practical steps we can take to ease this process and embrace change more confidently. By planning, cultivating flexibility, practicing patience, and showing self-compassion, we can navigate change with a sense of empowerment and calm. These steps allow us to take control of the process rather than letting change control us. One of the most effective ways to reduce the anxiety associated with change is by planning and preparing for it. Change is often daunting because it's uncertain and the unknown can trigger fear. But when we plan for change, we give ourselves a framework for moving forward. Planning helps to break down the process into smaller, more manageable pieces, which can make the whole experience feel less overwhelming. When we have a plan in place, we feel more in control, and control is one of the things that can ease our anxiety about change. Start by identifying what the change is and what needs to happen to accommodate it. For instance, if you're starting a new job, think about the logistics involved. When will you start? What steps do you need to take to transition smoothly into this new role? What are the key tasks or responsibilities you will need to focus on in the beginning? Breaking the bigger picture into smaller steps makes the change feel less intimidating. It also allows you to track your progress, giving you a sense of accomplishment as you make strides toward fully adapting to the change. In addition to breaking the change into smaller steps, it's important to cultivate flexibility. Flexibility is the ability to adjust and adapt to the unexpected, which is crucial when navigating change. Life is unpredictable, and even the best-laid plans can be disrupted. While it's essential to prepare, we also need to be open to the fact that things might not go exactly as we envision. The more rigid we are in our expectations, the harder it will be to deal with any unexpected shifts or obstacles that arise during the change process. Flexibility is not just about adjusting to changes that happen outside of our control. It's also about being open to adjusting our own expectations and attitudes. It's easy to get fixated on a specific outcome or a certain way of doing things, but change often requires us to let go of old habits and embrace new ways of thinking and behaving. When we challenge ourselves to become more flexible, we become better equipped to handle whatever life throws our way, whether it's at work, in our personal lives, or in our relationships. A simple way to practice flexibility is by consciously making an effort to be adaptable in your day-to-day life. This could be as simple as changing your routine or stepping out of your comfort zone in small ways. For example, if you're used to always doing things a certain way at work, try switching things up by taking on a different type of project or collaborating with a colleague from a different department. These small acts of flexibility can help train your mind to be more open to larger changes when they come. In addition to flexibility, patience and self-compassion are vital when embracing change. It's easy to feel frustrated when things don't go as planned, or when we don't adapt to change as quickly as we'd like. During times of transition, it's important to remind ourselves that change is a process, not a one-time event. It requires time, effort, and sometimes even a few setbacks before we adjust fully. When we expect too much of ourselves, we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. Instead, practice patience, both with the process of change and with yourself. Be kind to yourself during times of change. If things don't go as smoothly as you had hoped, or if you make mistakes along the way, remember that this is all part of the journey. Embrace the fact that change is messy and no one gets it right every time. Instead of being hard on yourself, practice self-compassion by acknowledging your efforts and giving yourself credit for the steps you've already taken. Change is hard for everyone, and it's important to honor your own journey through it. Self-compassion also involves treating yourself with the same kindness that you would offer to a friend. If a close friend were going through a difficult change, you would probably offer them encouragement, support, and understanding. You wouldn't expect them to adjust overnight, and you wouldn't criticize them for feeling frustrated. Treat yourself with that same level of care. When you're kind to yourself during times of change, you create a positive environment that nurtures your ability to grow through the process, rather than making it harder than it needs to be. Another key aspect of embracing change is acknowledging that every change requires time to adjust. It's easy to expect that we should be able to adapt immediately, especially when we're eager for things to feel normal again. However, adjustment takes time. The first few days or weeks of change can feel disorienting, and it's important to give yourself permission to feel that way. There is no need to rush the process. Allow yourself to experience the discomfort that comes with new beginnings, and understand that it's part of what makes change so transformative. It's through this adjustment period that we develop resilience, and over time, what once felt uncomfortable becomes second nature. Start by setting realistic expectations for yourself during times of transition. Instead of expecting everything to fall into place right away, remind yourself that the path to full adjustment is gradual. Celebrate the small victories along the way, whether it's getting through a challenging day or learning something new about the change you're facing. Each step forward is a sign of growth, and it's important to recognize that. One way to manage this adjustment period is by setting small, achievable goals related to the change. These goals could be as simple as getting familiar with your new workspace or meeting new people in a new setting. Achieving these small goals will help you build confidence and remind you that change is manageable. In conclusion, embracing change is not always easy, but it is possible when we approach it with a plan, a flexible mindset, patience, and self-compassion. Change is a part of life, and the more we accept it as such, the easier it becomes to navigate. By breaking down large changes into manageable steps, cultivating flexibility and practicing kindness to ourselves during the process, we can move through change with more confidence and grace. Remember that change is not a race. Take it one step at a time and be gentle with yourself along the way. Every change, no matter how big or small, offers an opportunity to grow, and with each step you become stronger and more resilient. As we come to the end of this discussion on embracing change, let's take a moment to reflect on the key points we've covered. Embracing change is not a destination, it's a journey. The first step in this journey is understanding that change is natural and necessary in life. It is something we can't avoid, and while it may bring discomfort or uncertainty, it is an essential part of growth. Once we recognize that change is inevitable and part of the process, we can begin to face the fear that often accompanies it. The fear of change is something we all experience, but the key is to shift our mindset. Instead of viewing change as a threat, we can learn to see it as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become better versions of ourselves. When we change our perspective, we can begin to approach life's shifts with curiosity rather than dread. Change becomes less about fear and more about possibility. Finally, it's important to remember that adapting to change takes time. You don't need to have all the answers immediately, nor should you expect to adapt perfectly right away. What matters is that you take small concrete steps each day to embrace the changes in your life. Whether that's planning, being flexible, or practicing patience and self-compassion, each step brings you closer to navigating change with confidence. Change is a process, and it's one that requires consistent effort, but with each small action, you'll become more resilient and adaptable. Remember, change is not always easy, but it always brings opportunities for growth. The challenges it presents are often the very things that propel us forward, helping us build the strength and wisdom we need for the next stage of our lives. Don't let fear hold you back from embracing change. Face it with confidence and persistence. You absolutely can overcome it and turn change into a positive force in your life. With the right mindset and approach, you'll find that change opens up a world of possibilities and new experiences that will help you grow in ways you never imagined. If you found this video helpful, I encourage you to share it with anyone who might need to hear this message. Sometimes we all need a reminder that we are capable of facing change and thriving through it. Leave a comment below and share your own experiences with embracing change. How have you learned to navigate change in your own life? Let's talk about it together. We can learn from each other and support one another through this journey. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more helpful content. Thank you for being here, and remember, change is an opportunity, not a threat. Embrace it and let it lead you to new and exciting things in your life.